Hey everybody, welcome to WCAX. It's our weekday morning live desk streaming show. Today we just wanted to hop on and talk about some storm, some wild weather from this weekend, some storm damage that kind of hit a few parts of Vermont, but specifically focusing on Stowe, in and around Stowe. We had our morning reporter Sophia Thomas out there this morning, and our photojournalist Max Barron as well. We'll bring him on in just a sec, but I just want to touch real quickly on a viewer video that was sent in to us from I think a Stowe resident, Ginny Chenoweth. We'll bring that up right now. And as you can see, really just inundated with water there all over the roads. I believe that is on the area of North Hollow Road and Bryanwood. And again, like I said, this morning we had Sophia and Max kind of out there to see some of that aftermath. So, with that in mind, we'll pop Max in here and kind of just have him say, what he saw here. Max, what can you tell us? I know you're out there this morning for a little bit. You're now hours after this. What is it looking like?
Yeah, the driving this morning was, the roads were dry, the highway was dry.
Yeah.
Coming down Route 100 also totally fine. It was right, when we went onto Goldbrook Road where it turned into Dewey Hill, right there's the road closed sign. You're looking up the road and you see the roads all washed out up there, definitely on the right side more. We did see a few locals try to brave it and go up that road. It definitely was a little risky, but, there's definitely a lot of residual damage there. The road is definitely partially gone. When we were leaving around 7-ish a.m., the crews had arrived. They were working on it and filling it in with sand, dump trucks, things like that. So it looked like they were working to clean it up, but definitely some damage from the quick storm we had yesterday.
Yeah. And we had a shot this morning of, I think, Sophia down really right next to that road here. I'll bring up, this is what you had this morning. Kind of, what am I looking at here? This is down below?
This is the bridge right before you get to that hill going up Dewey Hill. And so the river was obviously still raging and going quick. And so we were just taking an eye on that and seeing, what the levels were for the water there. And then, just past that is where that road was washed out.
Yeah.
And, we saw it looked like it was maybe coming down a little bit from what we saw from the videos sent in yesterday, but it was definitely a little bit of a wreck out there. And so hopefully they'll be working quick to clean that up throughout the rest of today and see what we can come back from.
Yeah, absolutely. And any other spots too? I know you guys were just here, but even driving in, any other kind of areas you saw blocked off, any crews out there, etc.
Yeah.
To kind of start your day.
We didn't see anything like you showed earlier with the video. North Hollow, the other side of the hill there, definitely had some other damage. We actually talked to a resident who stopped by on the way and said, I live on the other side of the hill just past Dewey, and we didn't really have anything like that. The rain obviously didn't even seem as hard, so it seemed to be pretty localized to these small little areas throughout Stowe. We've seen other videos come in from other parts of the state, but for the most part, what we've seen is, just these little localized areas like that.
Yeah, well, Max, we appreciate you hopping on. I know that you guys had a busy morning this morning as well, so I'll get out of your hair for a sec here. But
no problem. All right,
Max, thank you. Yeah. And with that kind of in mind, let's bring in our weather expert here, meteorologist Jess Langlois. And Jess, you can speak probably better than anyone here as far as, what are we looking at for what's next? I know we had quite the day yesterday, but I know people are probably breathing a sigh of relief as far as some of this weather kind of getting under our hair.
Absolutely, yeah. The worst of it is 100% behind us. I mean, yesterday was really that active day where we had kind of all the different threats on the table. I mean, thankfully, it was kind of a question as to whether we were really going to be able to tap into the full potential of what yesterday could have been. Because the ingredients were kind of there for it to be even worse than it was. But thankfully, it didn't quite play out that way. And what we ended up seeing, was the flooding and a couple of wind damage reports. But going forward, we still have the clouds today. It's still very dreary. But, we're not tracking anything intense or severe. Just some generic showers. Maybe a couple rumbles of thunder today.
That's definitely some welcome news as far as crews getting out and cleaning up. I know they probably wouldn't want to be dealing with that, now a day later. But I think we can kind of go to this. I think you had a video of flooding in Stowe here, sent in by a viewer, correct?
I do.
Yeah.
We just got this. This is new to us this morning, where a video from John Stafford in Stowe. So that kind of shows the magnitude of the water. I mean, there's a couple of campers in that video, that airstream there, and you can see how high up that water went. So yeah, that was right in that area. Stowe, we had a lot of reports, as we just saw, washouts, flooding, and let's see.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, we're not completely dry today, but definitely some better news, for folks who are starting to clean up a little bit and so yeah, some good news there.
Yeah, because that was one of several reports in that area. So we started seeing the flooding coming in around 6 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the only community. We had other washouts too. Really, southern Lamoille, northern Washington County. These are the flood reports we got from yesterday. So there was someone in the Elmore area, Hardwick. I think there was some road closures in the Kingdom as well. I remember seeing something on 5A and Westmore there.
Yeah.
So definitely some issues. And what's interesting is the issue yesterday is we had a couple of storms track over the same area pretty much. And so that Stowe area in particular got whacked twice with very heavy downpours. And that actually happened to be the 2 storms yesterday that we had that had tornado warnings on them. Thankfully, we didn't actually get any reports of any tornadoes touching down or anything like that, but those storms had rotation. And it's kind of good to remember too that even though part of the storm, we're watching for rotation, there's also just torrential downpours happening with those storms. But I do want to show you the wind damage reports too, because that was really what we had yesterday. Those few flooding reports. Obviously, the Stowe area really seemed to get hit the hardest out of this. But we also had some reports scattered about the area of trees down, trees uprooted, including this area that was kind of right along where those tornado warnings were. They kind of both tracked right up in this same area. There was one that came in the 2 o'clock hour and one that came in the 4 o'clock hour. So there were some multiple trees down in Moncton, on power lines there, and also in Waterbury from that first storm in the 2 o'clock hour. Then we had later, closer to 4:30, trees down in Huntington, and then another report from that same storm. So remember, this is the same storm that caused the flooding in Stowe. At least a dozen trees either snapped or uprooted in Little River State Park. So definitely a couple powerful ones, but
absolutely.
Thankfully that's kind of behind us now, and just kind of a more dreary day today.
And it's nice to, now we're taking a look at the Burlington waterfront, some calmer waters. As far as this week goes, are we out of the woods? What are we looking at here?
Well, at least for the next couple of days, it's quiet, it's dreary today. Tomorrow we're tracking, the chance for it's going to be a lot nicer day. We have the sunshine. Wednesday is really the only day this week that we're tracking the chance for storms. So overall, not too bad. We're just shy of 70 now, dew point's 58. So, it's a little bit more comfortable now than it was.
Yeah.
The humidity is not quite as bad. And so this is kind of what we have to get through before we can get to some sunshine. This is the radar right now. So relatively quiet across most of the area, but there is this batch, back to the west, Messina area, St. Lawrence Valley, seeing some showers now across northern New York, northern Champlain Valley. So all of this still has to kind of work its way through the area today before we can tap into that sunshine that's to the west. But overall, once that gets here, we do have a nice break in the weather ahead for tomorrow. So that's the main thing that we're tracking for today. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I mean, like I said, we're in kind of in the clear as far as some extreme weather. It's nice to kind of get that past us, and I was in the Lake Dunmore area yesterday, and it was like no vision. I really couldn't see anything. Driving there was probably about 6-7 o'clock in the morning, and then we were largely unscathed for a good part of the morning, and then again just hit later on in the afternoon. So I think a lot of people are happy that that's over, and of course. We'll follow up on a lot of our storm coverage probably today at WCAX.com, and they can keep up with the rest of the week with you. So yeah,
totally.
It's great.
I think a lot of people have that storm fatigue from last summer where we had had a day like yesterday. We had multiple of those leading up to that large flood that we had. So thankfully, this week's looking a little bit quieter weather-wise. We are tracking the chance for some storms on Wednesday. But at least through today, those rainfall totals are only a couple tenths of an inch at most for most of the area. There might be some localized spots, northern Champlain Valley in particular, anywhere if there is a little weak thunderstorm that develops that could be closer to a half inch or so. But thankfully, a little bit of a break for the next couple of days. So that batch of showers has to work through today. And we'll really see that filling in this afternoon, but then it dissipates this evening. So thankfully we clear out quickly tonight, and Tuesday starts with full sunshine, so we'll have a nice full dry day tomorrow. Some high clouds start to filter in the afternoon, but other than that, it's a nice quiet day heading into Tuesday. It's going to be warmer as well. I mean, right now we're looking at temperatures mid 60s to lower 70s.
Yeah.
And we don't actually warm up all that much this afternoon with the clouds there. So we're looking at a cloudy, kind of showery afternoon. Chance for an isolated thunderstorm, but chances are relatively low for today. And the good news, too, is we've had some kind of warm, muggy nights.
Yeah.
Dew points are a little bit lower now. Temperatures fall into the 50s tonight, so a little bit more comfortable than recent nights. We do warm up quickly tomorrow, though. Kind of a big difference in temperature compared to today, where we're talking about highs in the 80s, even some mid-80s, compared to, today where we're stuck in the 60s and lower 70s. But overall, relatively quiet couple days. I do want to just call attention to Wednesday, though. That is the one day that we are watching this week. There is sort of already that level 1 risk for severe weather. Yesterday, for context, it was like a 3 out of 5. Tomorrow, or Wednesday, it's more of a 1 out of 5, and it's mainly southern areas right now. But if there is one day to keep an eye on this week for some of those stronger storms or heavier downpours, it would be that Wednesday time frame. But other than that, that's coming through with a cold front. And then behind that, temperatures will be cooler for Thursday, but also it will be a lot less humid. So it's a little bit less humid right now, but that's when we get that big drop in humidity for at least a day or so through Friday. And then as of right now, the weekend is just looking a little bit unsettled, but overall not looking at anything as intense as last week we had the heat. This week and multiple rounds of storms. And this weekend we had the storms.
Kind of just take a breather for a few. We had, just kind of crazy hot temperatures. My AC is just being strangled, I guess, as far as just being overrun. And then now we have these crazy storms this weekend, so it's kind of nice to just kind of have some smooth sailing for a little bit. So
yes, give ourselves a break, give our electric bill a break.
Yeah.
I think we can handle some clouds and light showers today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jess, thanks for stopping by. I think before I hop off, I'm gonna look at some 511, some road closures. But yeah, thanks for hopping on. For kind of shedding some light on some weather things that I obviously can't do myself. But with that in mind, I'll pop over to this really quick. And like I said, we're taking a look right now at our Echo cam, and again, just a stark difference from what we were dealing with yesterday. I do want to very quickly bring up our New England 511 here. Again, it's between Elmore and Worcester. Kind of just some incidents from yesterday. Again, closed from Elmore downstream Lower Hancock Brook Road, and just kind of north of that as well, due to those washouts and water on that road. So just keep that in mind as you start getting out the door today, if you haven't left already. But I think with that in mind, I think that does it for us here on WCA Extra. Of course, you can cover a lot of these stories and see those online at WCAX.com, see in our new newscast, and yeah, follow us on all of our shows and websites. So with that in mind, I think I'll let you guys go and get on with your morning. And again, you can see us at noon. So take care.